Doug, can you share the advice you give to young men addicted to pornography?
Yes. One, stop using the word addicted.
Nice.
That'd be the first thing. Secondly, I would say it matters where what age cohort the person's in. If you're talking to someone, a young boy who's 13, 14 years old, just stumbled into pornography and is struggling with it, what he needs is accountability, time with dad, controls, guardrails. That's the sort of thing he needs. If he's out on his own, he's 23 years old, unmarried, and every night he goes home and his computer's there waiting for him. That's a different situation than the 13-year-old. There's a 10-year difference. The 13-year-old ought not to be married. The 23-year-old ought to be, right? So one of the things that young men need to get into their heads is that the biggest earthly solution to sexual temptation is sex. So find a girl, loves the Lord, propose, marry her, right? You're burning daylight. And so a lot of, and there's another quirk in this. A lot of young men, and unfortunately a lot of parents of young ladies, have the idea that the young man who needs to get married has to prove, it's like going down to the bank and they will give you a loan if you prove to them that you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a certain kind of strong slavery to pornography that is indicative of bent. There's something bent. Something's wrong. It's hardcore stuff. It's degrading. The young man has a bad attitude toward women and his mom, and there's something wrong. There's something twisted, and marriage won't fix it. But in my experience counseling people, that's the 5%. When for most young men, when they get married, it addresses most of the problems. It's not like there's no niggles here and there, or problems, difficulties or temptations. Not like the world is temptation free, but it solves the problem in the main. That's the case for the overwhelming number of young Christian men. And so if they are having to resist this temptation regularly, if it's a big deal, if the Christian life to them consists of resisting that kind of sexual temptation, all they're proving is that they need to get married, not that they don't, right? So I would encourage them to, and this is the sort of the byline of one of the books I wrote, Get the Girl, become the kind of man that the kind of woman you would want to marry. So you should pour your energy and your time and your sweat equity into becoming a particular kind of man, because you need a particular kind of woman, and she's not going to want to have anything to do with the kind of guy that you're going to drift into becoming if you don't try.
Mm-hmm. What about, is there a place for, say, physical labor or something about life in the tangible world? Pornography is not that. It's kind of like life in the cloud. It's sex with self. Right. It's like people have talked about it being kind of inherently homosexual, mm-hmm. because there's not a real flesh and blood woman there. Right. So is there something about cultivating appetites for like the real world, the tangible world, and vocation or something like that?
Yes, but not by itself. Because some of the hardest working people, sailors, are notoriously immoral. So just hard work doesn't, if you went out on an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, you're not likely to find a bastion of sexual
purity out there.
Bastion of sexual purity. So work by itself, it doesn't fix anything. But in a Christian context, with accountability with your dad or pastor or elders, it'd be part of the equation. Yes.